Are we ready for some Tuesday tea, people? Welcome to the Brews at 10 here on my left eye. I'm your host, Lefty. How are you doing? How are we doing, people? Thanks for joining me. This is a live stream and indeed a channel all about politics and society from a left-wing point of view. Thanks for joining me. Let me know how you're doing in the chat if you're listening live, or in the comments if you're watching back on a replay. And of course, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, people. Help to spread the old Solidari-Tea around. And you might have noticed already, if you're not a regular viewer, from the title and from what I've said so far, we're never short of a few tea-based puns here on my left eye. Brews at 10. Doc Davies, great to see you. There's a doctor in the house. Odin Allfather, waving right back at you, brother. Hope you're brewing nicely tonight. Now, whatever you're drinking. Whether it's from a cup or a glass or a mug or a flagon or a flute. Jacqueline, great to see you. Oh, so you're on the coffee. Whatever you're drinking, yeah, hope you're enjoying it. And thanks a lot for smashing that like button, Jacqueline. Andy Carter is amongst us. Great to see you. How you doing, brother? Yeah, thanks for your comments on that recent video I put out, Andy. It gives me a great excuse to go into a plug for it as well. So yeah, if you've not seen it, it's all about the deportation of Venezuelans, US Venezuelan citizens, so please do take a look at that. And Davinia, nice to see you as well. Yeah, thanks for all of your comments on that aforementioned video. Yeah, take a look if you've not seen it yet, people. It's actually off to a bit of a slow start, if I'm being honest. I'll get on to developments and progress with the channel in a broader sense later, but also tonight, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, they, thems, and comrades alike, I've got some I've got an exclusive, let's put it that way. Just a little one, a bit of a teaser, as it were, for what's coming up on tomorrow's Brews at 10, which is PMQs. I hope you'll be joining me then also. Yeah, I've just put a little bit of something together which I'll share with you exclusively as a teaser, why not? Yeah, Davinia, as per scheduling goes, clashes of schedules. I am a big fan of Helena's No Justice channel as well. Free plug there. I'm sure lots of people in the chat are as well. But yeah, unfortunately I'm stuck with this schedule. I mean, if I did it, the Brews at 8, the Brews at 9, whenever, I'd have to redo all of the logos and everything. But I don't know, the Brews at 10, it's got a nice sort of ring to it, I guess. And of course, it's a play on the old classic. And finally, yeah, but of course, as we did on Sunday, was it? If Helena's still running, then we'll raid into there, of course. Okay, so where were we? It's a pretty wide spread of things today. I'm just going to sort of go over things in general. That security scandal in the United States. For example, Angela Rayner's been making a, well, you could call it an effort with those interviews and apparent excuses. Morbius, great to see you. Yeah, so a bit more about that and some of the latest polling as well. I feel like I've not done look at any of the polls for a while. And also this, well, this total affront to democracy that's happening in Turkey at the moment and the protests that are happening there. I'm going to be taking a look at that. And one or two other protest bits as well, so stick around, plenty to go into. It's kind of a hodgepodge of subjects tonight. But yeah, the news is coming in thick and fast, so I'll do my best to keep up with everything. Chris, good to see you. How you doing? Solidari-Tea. Yeah, I'll get straight into things in just a moment. All right. Yeah, I'm a bit short on comedy clips today, people. You'll have to forgive me. We normally start off with a bit of a jolly from another YouTuber. So we'll get straight into the doom scrolling. Good to hear you good, Chris. Yeah, and thanks for the update on the brew, Davinia, Morbius. Waving right back at you. Before we move on, of course, I have to give a massive thanks to the members on the channel. Yeah, thanks everybody. I just want to get on to memberships and subscriptions and stuff. After we've said thanks to everyone on the roster, you can add your name to this list. It's just 99p. A fraction of the price of a hot tasty beverage. Yeah, check out the perks. One update is, yeah, I'm going to have the means and the scheduling time, people, to bring at least one exclusive members only video a week from now on. Let's just bring you people up in the chat. There you are. Okay. Just adjust the logo there. And there you all are. Andy, thanks again for a gifted membership. And Davinia, bullseye, yes. Yeah. Boom. Nice shot. What a shot. Special bow to Andy Carter there. I always do like it when a live viewer becomes recipient of the gifted membership. Thanks again for that, Andy. What a shot! Striker! Yeah, wow. What are the odds? I'm going to give that some love myself in the chat. Don't mind if I do myself. Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. But yeah, I'm going to bring up the membership goal. Thanks again for that, Andy. I'll adjust that now. But unfortunately, people, some who've received gifted memberships haven't renewed them recently, and thank you very much for everybody who made those gifted memberships. So yeah, that's dropped off a little bit, but sure we'll get there. We continue to spread the love and solidarity. Yeah, so please keep giving us a boost on social media and whatnot. So yeah, Davinia, that makes 9 months standard membership. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it's been great to have you. So this is, yeah, the first story, and I guess it's from our perspective, that is the UK. It's not going to do us any harm, so yeah, let's feel free to throw as much shade as it as we like. Yes, Jacqueline, what a goal that was. Andy, let's see that again. Let's have a replay. Andy, he gives the membership, and it's right in the king centre. It went into the net like a dart. And another 5. Wow, thanks again, Andy. So, right. Let's just adjust there. That brings it to 53. Thanks, Andy. Takes us over halfway towards the goal. And also Morbius. Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. Thanks, Morbius. Thanks again, Solidari-Tea. The goals are coming in thick and fast. There's been a lot said recently, hasn't there, about football analytics in politics, hasn't there? God, what else could you say? Thanks for the assist. Again, I don't know. Oh, Davinia, thanks for paying it forward with a gifted membership as well. That's always nice to see recipients of gift memberships paying it forward as well. Maybe the sort of YouTubey version of a hype train that they have on Twitch, such things. And another one, Morbius. So that brings us up to 56. Great stuff. Thanks a lot. Yeah, genuinely appreciate all of your contributions. So let's do a quick roll call there of the new members and I'll get into the story. I'll have to do it in reverse order while I scroll up. We've got Kat, John the Brazen, Graham Thompson, Cupid, Blora Pope, interesting name, Do Enjoy, Brett James, JC Vasco, Graham Turner, Dominic Jones, and of course Davinia. Thanks again for paying that forward. Football puns, tea puns. It's a golfer. It's a rout. Nearly went into a bit of partridge there, but I'll refrain for now. In case we do get carried away. But always like the banter in the chats. Thanks a lot, people. For your puns. And I can see we've got one or two regular culprits of punnery. I'll keep my eye out for that. But for now, let's get cracking with the article. Just very quickly on this situation. So, of course, it's been revealed that journalists were allowed into a virtual war cabinet in the United States. This is where they are talking about an actual operation that they're going to carry out, not any sort of drill or just a general overall strategy discussion. This is about a developing, ongoing military operation that took place on Signal. Which of course is a massive breach of national security. Securi-Tea, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, Davinia. The question has been raised whether the United Kingdom could be affected by this. But Luke Pollard, who's the Armed Forces Minister, says he's got high confidence that British operational security remains intact. I suppose that's with the same amount of confidence that Rachel Reeves exuded on a recent Laura Kussenberg appearance. And believe you me, watching the pair of them speaking to each other, let's say, is more than somewhat torturous. Although I do enjoy when No Justice and Kev adding the commentary to it as well, as we saw on Sunday. It's always good when you take these things with a dash of socialist commentary. So apparently the official narrative goes that they were inadvertently, according to this BBC article, added to a secret group chat where senior US officials discussed plans for a strike against the Houthi rebel group in Yemen, who of course have been causing the United States all sort of problems, interrupting trade routes, and also Israel have recently been subject to blockades and attacks from the Houthis. It's also been revealed that they're going to be extending that to plans to target disruption of air travel. Excuse me, I'll just bring the music back up. Been yapping away so long that the loops run out. The eternal loop. Congratulations, we made it to the end of eternity. So that was that. That was existence. No. More from Angela Rayner coming up in a bit. I won't play that clip. A little bit from Angela Rayner. Yeah, mate, it's going to be sound, mate. And no, what she actually said was apparently the UK and United States relationship is as strong as it's ever been. Of course, you know, I think that obviously remains to be seen. What's Donald Trump's friendship worth? Maybe you should ask the likes of Mike Pence and everybody else who was ever screwed over before and U-turned on their agreements. Doc Davies, that's a good question, and I have considered that myself. This, whenever you hear about leaks, this is obviously sort of the next level above leaks, where it comes to the way it's done, the access or whatever, but whether inadvertently or not, the fact that they were invited remains. But is that done deliberately? You always have to ask yourself questions like that when you hear about leaks, or a cabinet source has revealed, apparently anonymously revealed. But yeah, that's a lot of the smoke and mirrors of it all, really, isn't it? Oh, and this about European freeloading as well. So under Trump, they certainly won't miss any opportunity to criticise the European Union. JD Vance says he feels like they're bailing Europe out again. Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth says, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading, it's pathetic. They're probably just a little rattled, when you look at the state of the US economy and who the international competitors are. Obviously China being the main one, but you have to draw the European Union into the conversation as well, and we see BRICS as well developing by the month. But let's not get off on a tangent, people. Just going to see what he's saying about this in the chat. Scarcity of security. Exactly. Speaking of yes, Prime Minister, there, Andy, I saw a great mashup of it was Trump and the yes Minister, the old political comedy, but they did the cutaways very well. Yeah, check that out. I could have used that for the comedy clip. Right, we're going to have to restart the live stream now. I'm only joking. And of course, yes, they always have a go at the reporter for leaking it. That's the interesting thing. Just, not all journalism is great, but I think genuine reporters, as opposed to, the hacks that we have, who ask questions like a curious 8-year-old and have about the same level of political intelligence as an 8-year-old. Yeah, but the genuine investigative journalists or whatever shouldn't be targeted, shouldn't be persecuted. I do believe in a free press, of course, as long as they are telling the truth, as long as it's not regurgitation of government propaganda, as long as it's not in certain people's interests. Client journalism is one of the phrases that comes to mind. Ed Davey, the sometimes canoe-dwelling, juggling whilst on a trampoline. Oh, there's an election coming. Let's act like you're having a midlife crisis. Ed Davey said the leak showed Trump's White House can't be trusted to take even the most basic steps to keep its own intelligence safe. Hypothetically, we'll leave them in charge. I'm not sure if they're cozying up to Trump would be much different from Starmer's, of course. Did I see the clip where Bernard is on the phone? Hang on. A link? Was the link? Is there a link in the chat? Yeah, you're right there, Andy. You do have to be a moderator to post in the chat. I don't have any mods at the moment myself. I might perhaps need one or two to be able to keep their left eyes on the chats. Yeah, so feel free to volunteer if you're a regular viewer. Otherwise, I'll literally just run outside and grab someone off the streets. I'll ask them if they're a socialist first, of course. Politics Clive, nice to see you. The only free press the United States is going to have is when they have a discount at the laundry store. I see what you did there. And the only one we've got here is based in Corby in the East Midlands, which hotel trouser presses are famously named after. I didn't think the subject of trouser presses was going to come up on tonight's live stream, but it can go any way we like. People, this is your stream just as much as it's mine. Okay, where were we? Yeah, I did say I was going to sail through this. Ended up getting slightly sidetracked. Just quickly about the technicalities of Signal chats. Obviously, they are encrypted, but they're not approved by the United States governments for discussion of classified material. Yeah, I'd imagine not. Or any type of, most people will access this through the phones or a tablet or desktop. But do you remember the Hillary Clinton private emails scandal? She just had a Yahoo email, a Gmail, a Hotmail, whatever account. Other accounts are available. So yeah, there's very strict rules against that. And it says the Ministry of Defence has very clear policies in relation to what information can be shared and the format in which it can be shared. We don't comment on how allies share their information. That was again by a quote from Pollard. So that's just about the bare bones of that. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. Graham Turner, thank you very much for that super chat. Let's give that some appreciation there. And I'd encourage others in the chat to do so as well on super chats. Hope you're doing well tonight, Graham. Good to see you're enjoying the gifted membership. Thanks a lot for all of your contributions on tonight's live stream. Great shows of Solidari-Tea there. Move on to another topic now. Like I said, it's going to be a bit of a hodgepodge. I do usually like to try and smoothly segue from one topic to another in a quality streaming fashion. So where should we go next? I think we'll go with something closer to home. That is, just speaking personally. Of course, the brew crew are from all over the UK and the wider world. Yeah. We'll go with the Angela Rayner, who of course is from Manchester constituency. Which brings it very close. Yeah, not far from where the stream's coming from you tonight, so she's been on Radio 4 and she's trying to liken and compare benefits, which is being increasingly referred to as welfare these days, to handouts. And here's the thing, as always the syntax is very important. But where do you draw the line between a handout and a benefit? Benefits that were hard fought for, as well as workers' rights. Yeah, Davinia, if you can give us the title of the clip, I might be able to look it up. Is this a comedy clip, or just let us know what type of clip it is, and just give me the title if you can. Obviously you can't post the link, but yeah, I'll try and check it out. Obvious, yeah. Manchester impression. Oh. Is Wondergupta in the house, or anyone else from the northeast going to comment on that? Yes, Doc, you're quite right there. That's Newcastle. But I think that's the joke. I'm hoping it's a joke. Why, are you, man? So it's Angela Rayner. Yeah. Again, she says that she doesn't want people out of work to feel like they're on handouts, which is probably why they're going to take them away. But this is coming from someone who took £3.5 worth of free clothes. Yeah. She used to be an ardent socialist, of course, but she's gone down the careerist path, unfortunately. So she said some of the most vulnerable people are not getting the support they need, and others who want to work are not being given the support they need to get back into work. It's a working class thing that people do want to be able to provide for their families and for themselves. Yeah, that much in itself is true, but that's no excuse to vindicate people who are out of work. They don't want handouts, they want support, and that's the important element of that welfare reform. Tell us the distinction, Angela. Where's the distinction between a handout and support? If you're talking about the receipt of benefits or the receipt of welfare, then you're talking about the social security net that's always supposed to be there, this backstop. And it's not handouts and it's not freebies, because when you say handouts, that's what it implies. Freebies. People who get them have paid in their whole working lives with national insurance, And through taxation and national insurance, that's where the funding comes from this. If you want to talk about handouts, then look at the tax dodging in the 1%. They're happy to hand out the money that they've made in the UK to the Caymans, Virgin Islands, the Seychelles, perhaps Switzerland or Jersey. I'm sure you see what I'm getting at, people, but this is again spurious language that doesn't make any sense. It's certainly not an excuse for the continuation of austerity, but yeah, it totally ignores, again, the elephant in the room. Whatever size black hole ding you get a strange, actually, that I'll just can you see that on your screens? Just one moment, I've got to go back into the... Oh my god, has that not been up? How long has that not been up for? Apologies. Yeah, so I'm just going to bring this across to the right. Speaking of black holes, there's this thing as well about the strange spiral in the sky. Maybe Keith and his lot summoned it with their, repeated utterance. So sorry, I was talking away there about the article without having it up. But I think that's a poor excuse. So what's the difference between support and a handout? It's the benefit system. That is the actual way it functions. She seems to be completely oblivious to it. Or she's acting as though she's completely oblivious to it, which she is. Yeah. I don't think the people of Ashton-under-Lyne, who Raina represents, will be much impressed either. Although bizarrely, I saw a poll earlier, and it's not one of the polls I'm going to be showing in the live stream, but I'll just quickly refer to it, about the individual popularity of each of the members of the cabinet. And Angela Rayner here had positive rating in the mid-60s, mid-70s, like percentage-wise, and was second from the top, which is actually quite surprising. Of course, Keith was right down there. And I guess I'll throw it open for any guesses in the chat for anyone who's watching live. Who was the top rated member of the Labour cabinet? Remember, they have to be a cabinet member, not just an MP. So yeah, throw us your guesses. I'll come back to that in just a moment. I'm going to soldier on. We're going to plough through these topics tonight, people. But still with the subject, the overall subject of austerity. Andy Carter, you are on King Fire tonight, my friend. Yes, you might have seen the same poll going around. I think it was from YouGov. But yeah, Ed Miliband, the Environment Secretary, without much of a solid plan on how to solve the climate crisis, or help to solve the climate crisis, obviously. Every country's got to do its part, you know. More about climate and environment stuff later in the stream, people. Been a couple of recent stories out there I want to point your attention towards. But this is from the Canary. I'll just make sure you've got a good point of view here. Just have to reduce that. Okay. Yeah, a great independent media outlet, the Canary. You check them out. Labour's proposed cuts to education will be the worst in a generation, according to the author here. Well, this is a really good article. I won't read the full thing, just a few points here. I'm just going to turn the background music down slightly. There we go. So on the back of years of Tory austerity, the education sector is preparing, yes, I didn't miss a chance there, is preparing for the, quote, worst financial situation for a generation after Rachel Reeves' spring statement, which is due tomorrow. Yeah, stay tuned, I'll be talking about that one as well on tomorrow's Brews at 10. So head teachers have already warned that schools face death by 1,000 cuts, quote, partly because the proposed pay increase for teachers is unfunded and the Labour Party government wants it to come out of the education budgets. And she's also floated a further £500 million cut, that's £500 million, at a time when the richest 1% hold more wealth than 70% of the country. This type of outlook is extraordinary from Labour. Additionally, the 4 richest Britons have more wealth than 20 million of us. I think it's supposed to say than 20 million of us, it actually says. That's a slight typo. I'm nitpicking there. But under the Conservatives and initially Lib Dems, the education budget already faced a 9% cut between 2010 and 2020. So over a decade, and that was drastic for sixth forms that underwent cuts of 26%. The lack of funding forced 47 sixth forms to close in just 3 years between 2016 and 2019. There was a certain member of the opposition who would have gone the other way on that between 2016 and 2019. A man who needs no introduction, I'm sure, here on my left eye. So overall funding will be 11% lower than in 2010. Solidari-Tea. So comparing private education to state education, of course if you're not watching from the UK, you might not be aware that private schools are often referred to as public schools. It's a little bit strange. So if you're a public school boy, that doesn't mean it's a state school. Obviously, you know, the famous likes of Eton and whatnot, they're actually private schools. And they tend to, you know, churn out on a conveyor belt these absolute bastards who sit in Parliament, most of them. So only 7% of the UK attends a private school. Those privately educated dominate the top jobs in society. What a coincidence! What a coincidence. There's only 7% of them and they get the top jobs in society. 65% of senior judges went to private school, 44% of top actors, 39% of cabinet members and 52% of diplomats were privately educated. I feel like I'm doing that Lexi Sale bit from the episode of The Young where he's the train driver. And the one where they go on University Challenge. Anyway, yeah. 65% of senior judges went to a private school at Oxbridge, 44% of top actors went to a private school at Oxbridge, 39% of cabinet members went to a private school at Oxbridge, and 52% of diplomats were privately educated. The role of nature, that is genetics versus nurture, which is family, school, upbringing, etc., getting psychological now, people. But the role of those in educational outcomes is hard to estimate. It's research from King's College London even that suggests 58% of a pupil's performance in key subjects is to do with genetics. That leaves 42% of outcomes as an opportunity for improvement. It's okay because Daddy's rich. So, not the promising future that Rachel Reeves was trying to paint for us just as recently as last weekend. However much she wants to repeatedly, robotically say that she's confident, that's nowhere near going to make up for the actual, matter of fact, the actual numbers. Good points there in the chat, yeah, about the interest that they get as well. Because when you're banking, you know, when you're banking big, when you're banking with the big boys, they do give you that extra advantage. So wealth breeds wealth, and that's why you get this huge chasm between the lowest and the top earners. And it goes on and on and on. So following on from that, speaking of austerity and whatnot, and labour, because of course they go hand in hand together now. How's this affected public opinion? Like I said, I've got a couple of polls here. Just need to thanks again, members. Accidentally hit drop. drag there. Right. So the first one, these are from Stats for Lefties, who I've used a fair bit before. How optimistic they are generally. So, despite the fact that they've sent the very charismatic and charming and convincing likes of Rachel Reeves and Pat McFadden out on the news rounds, for example, recently. Let's see if that's really gotten through to the public and they completely buy Labour's excuses. So, do you think Labour will improve your life? I'll just make that slightly smaller. Yes, they will. Probably 54% think they will, and 46% say no. But compared to no, hang on, right? Oh, so that was at the start when they came in, 54, and that's gone down to 29, and then 46 for no, they won't. It's gone all the way up to 71%. Wow. That's in less than a year, much less than a year. Good point, Jacqueline. I don't think that £2,500 pay rise that MPs got helped either. Yeah, so Exhibit A, people. It doesn't look like they've been convinced. I'm sure Pat McFadden's devastated, you know. He did his best to sound enthusiastic, and I really did put 100% into it when I was talking about why we've got to take money away from low-income people and the unemployed. So that's Exhibit A there. Actually, whilst we're on the topic there about pay rises and such and handouts, yeah, because that's what Angela Rayner says, that we've got to rally against the handouts. The Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, who's from Chorley in Lancashire, had his private residence refurbished. Apparently the Speaker is entitled to do such a thing and charge the taxpayer for it. But can you guess, people, another question coming out to you if you're watching live, how much the cost of the refurbishment was? And to give you a clue, the former is former Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, had his house refurbished for £45,000. So based on that figure, how much do you think that Sir Lindsay Hoyle has had his private residence refurbished to the tune of? And again, this is public money that pays for this. I'll come back to that after the next poll. Again, not looking great for Labour. So for seat projection now, again, this is Stats for Lefties. Just bring that down there. There we go. Whew. Well. Okay. Where to begin? First guess is in there. Andy Carter, 400k. Unfortunately not. No, that's an incorrect guess. It doesn't have to be the exact amount. In fact, I'll do higher or lower. We'll do higher or lower. But don't get ridiculous. It's not $100 billion. So it's not 400k. It is higher than 400k. Bearing in mind that's almost 10 times the amount of John Burko's private residence, excuse me, renovation. Keep the guesses coming, people. So Labour, obviously the government, are going to be 220 seats, which is way down. With only 185. But look at this now. The Tories apparently are going to make somewhat of a comeback with 51 seats. Obviously, this is early days. Yeah, and again of 120 for referendum. That's really, everybody else is up. Everybody else is up. Labour are the only ones on the way down. The Greens had gained 3 seats to 7, but considering the Greens and referendum have almost the same amount of seats at the moment, watching referendum sort of steal away, yeah, that's pretty shocking. That's pretty shocking. Please, yeah, it's play your cards right, but with house refurbishments. Higher. 900k? No, it's higher. It's higher than 900k. Keep them coming, people. Naturally, the SNP are going to completely take back over Scotland as well. It's worth pointing out this is just for Britain. Northern Ireland isn't included in this. Plaid Cymru will remain the same though, only on 4 seats. 402,000. Yeah, I mean, reform. But this is shocking. You know, I've thrown up the comparative graphs, the line graphs before, where a sitting government has started to trail off in popularity. This is just absolutely diving straight into the ground, like oblivion at Alton Towers. Yes, more. The Greens do look like they'll be doing well. I would like to see more of that, obviously, as well as always, socialist independents, grassroots parties. There's a whole host of them, and trade union coalitions. Davinia, I couldn't see a Labour coalition with the SNP at the moment, no. Well, technically based on numbers, whether it would be mathematically possible or not, doesn't really come into it as much as the fact that you have to respect certain political alliances or lack of. And yeah. This would lead to a hung parliament, so you would perhaps be looking at some sort of coalition. If this, you know, was bang on the money for a projection, or a poll, I should say. But things can only get worse. Very poor from Labour, very poor indeed. Right, I'll have to shuffle on. I'll be right back with you people. I just need like a 1 minute break. Talk amongst yourselves polite and cordially in the chats as you always do. Just double, triple check that you've hit that thumbs up button. And while I'm gone, you might want to share us around your social media as well. Okay, I'll be right back people. Okay, thanks for your patience, people. Clive, very good. Can't read it out. That's very good. Trying to power your car on Brews made it fail its MOT. Oh, yeah, awesome. Very good, very good. Very good indeed. Sorry, that joke's just taking me back. Okay. Right, back to, yeah, thanks Andy. Back to the guesses for the Just Top Hoyle refurb. £1.5 million. No, I'm going to reveal the answer now. Are you all sitting down? You might want a sip of something stronger when I lay this one on you people. Whew. 7 million. 7 million. That's on the refurbishment, you know, which obviously implies that his house is worth significantly more than 7 million, you know. Be talking about writing it off or refurbishing it. If 7 million is definitely worth it, then, yeah. Okay, we're live on the internet, people. Let's not corpse at the jokes. We do get quality punning here on the Brews at 10. Thanks for that contribution. They're all great. That one just got me. That one just got me. Oh God. Seriously though, capitalism's taking over the world, and we're all doomed. More doom scrolling to come. This, I don't know if it is in his constituency, which is in the northwest, or if it is in London, as house prices go in London. I don't know. Would £7 million get you a half decent bed sit these days? No, I'm exaggerating, of course, but the situation is of course, very bad in the capital. Austeri-Tea, yeah, but that's certainly out of Austeri. The I'm going on a Burko impression streak now. No, I'm not going to do it. He was much better, even though, you know, he was a Tory. And then of course he defected to Labour because they're Tory, but at the time they weren't under as much scrutiny as the current Tories in red rosettes. You see, very clever political move there. Yeah, as much as he was razzle-dazzle in the House of Commons, you've always got to bear that in mind when it cuts to the core of the man. He'll always be right-leaning. A good point, Morbius, back to the housing crisis. 2.25 million, and that was an ex-council house. Yeah, just again another free plug for Helena at No Justice. It was on a stream recently. I think she pointed out that a lot of the millionaires that we have in the country at the moment, obviously they're very old now, and they've become millionaires because they managed to buy property cheap in the 1980s or 1970s. And that's probably another classic example of that. And as I've mentioned quite a few times on the channel, there wasn't anything wrong with the concept of people buying and owning their own council house. The problem therein was that they weren't replaced like for like with social housing, and also deregulation of stock markets and housing markets also meant estate agents and stockbrokers themselves getting away with all kinds of ludicrous shit, which has driven up the price of housing in this well, bubble and burst, boom and bust, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Right to buy wealth. Yeah. Right to buy wealth. If you live north of Stoke, Derbyshire area. That wasn't a Derbyshire accent, by the way. Alright, onward people. I'm going to say a little about these protests in Turkey, of course, this affront to democracy, as I said earlier. Before I go through the article, I've got a clip, obviously. The sitting President Erdogan felt so threatened by an opposition member that he's had him jailed, and there have been mass protests there also against the apparent corruption that's been happening in government. But the response has been huge, and when you take a look at this clip, it doesn't have any sound on it. It had a song on it, which I'm not sure if it was copyrighted, so I always try and play it safe there. The crowd has got to be in the millions, or definitely high hundreds of thousands, I'd say. But take a look for yourselves. And with this drone footage, and just look at that, a lot of this is sped up, of course, just to emphasise, you know, if it stayed on one continuous shot. We could be here all day, but look at that. Look at those scenes. So this was on Wednesday when he was arrested, detained. This is the city of Istanbul's mayor, by the way. You know, this is how it's seen to handle your political rivals. The main opposition party, which is the CHP, let's just go over to the article. Yeah, so the opposition announced Imamoglu as its presidential candidate on Sunday and said the demonstrations will end on Tuesday without saying what the next steps would be. There have been several arrests as well. The last figure that I heard, I'm not sure if it's somewhere in this article. Sorry, I've not read this in full myself. Somewhere around 1,100 arrests at the protest. Yeah, those queues are bigger than the bogs at Glastonbury. Ba-bum. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, so clamping down on the protests as well, you know, let's talk about a recipe for authoritarianism. First of all, you try and remove your political rivals with trumped up charges. Yeah, sorry, you'll have to forgive the joke that I used at the start of the last video. That's what I was referring to there. But then as well as doing that, you also come down on people who see this as an obvious political move and then start to protest against it. What a guy. Yeah, there's the full figure, 1,133 arrests, and it's still ongoing. This is the 6th day. The leader, Özgür Özel, spoke to all of the people gathered on Monday night, and he said the demonstration was an act of defiance against fascism, and he said he would visit Imamoglu in jail in Silivri on Tuesday. He added that the CHP would appeal for him to be released pending trial and for his trial to be shown live on state broadcaster TRT. And yet they were firing huge amounts of pepper spray on the ground. I saw some pictures going around social media over the last few days of absolute clouds of pepper spray being used by the police. Trump got Humpty Dumpty'd. Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, where instead of an egg, it's a tea mug. Okay. Right. Stick with it, Lefty. So this is another developing fluid situation. And let us know what you think about that in the chats or in the comments if you're watching back on a replay. Let's take another quick look at that crowd again before we move on. Where the tactics are concerned by the government, there are obviously echoes or shades of this from recent events in Russia, with the opposition party leader was arrested and imprisoned in that case, and later, as many people predicted, went on to die in prison under very nefarious circumstances, of course. However, the scale of protests there in Turkey is unbelievable. But speaking of protests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, they, thems and comrades alike, I'm just going to lead on to another area in the Middle East. Obviously, there have been ongoing protests against those who support the occupation in Gaza, companies that support the occupation in Gaza with the BDS movement, and obviously those in the financial sector who do so. There's been a protest in Barcelona in a branch of Santander, the Spanish bank. I've got some footage from the protest. This isn't my footage, obviously. I've not been. I've just got back from Barcelona. So let's see what's happening, people. Two. Okay, back on, sorry. Yeah, this ATM is out of order, and you might have noticed very similar to protests that have happened at banks in the UK. Barclays Bank have been targeted by groups such as Palestine Action. I'm not exactly sure what the sort of Spanish equivalent here in this case might be, but yeah, nice one under this ATM. Very good indeed. Keep the tea puns flowing, people. Really enjoying it tonight. Yeah, just wanted to come in and say that we're seeing these kind of spraying actions increase all across the globe. I might have done one or two myself, people, but yeah, I've been nicked for everything I done, Gav. It's out of order, but not as out of order as companies that contribute towards the occupation in Gaza are, right, people? So what he's saying, what do you think about that? I just get the background music back up, just bear with. I'm going to make a slight adjustment here, people. Don't like there being too much dead air. Let me know if you can hear the background music. I'm not going to signal here on my EQ. It should be coming through. But I try not to get too distracted with that. I'll just mess around with that as I talk. But that brings me, as I mentioned, spraying actions and whatnot, which may or not be quite satisfying. Just brings us on to environmental matters. Before I go into an article about the Lower Thames crossing being approved by Labour, which is going to have a massive impact on CO2 output in the UK. Just want to talk about another story that came across my left eye's desk earlier. I don't know if you heard about the millions of tyres that the UK ships to India, under the impression that they're going to be recycled, apparently have been thrown into furnaces. And we're talking absolutely huge amounts here, people. As many as, we talk about in the millions of tyres, tens of millions. It takes about, I don't know, it's roughly about 7 gallons of oil just to make one car tyre. So when you do the maths there, that's obviously exponential. It's massive amount. Yeah, the background music's still off here, people. I'm just working with this. Bear with. Right, it's gone right off there. And it should be back now. Yeah, I think we're all good. So I just couldn't believe it, you know, things are going out of the frying pan and into the fire, so to speak. And take a look at this as well. This proposal's been approved, yeah. This is a really bad idea for a lot of reasons, not just the CO2 impact of these large construction projects, but what it encourages in this case is more car usage as opposed to encouraging public transport use. So the plan's going to be valued at £9 billion in cost, and it's going to link parts of the southeast, Tilbury, Essex, Gravesend in Kent, by 2 tunnels that run underneath the Thames River itself, and this is to reduce traffic at the Dartford crossing by 20%, supposed to be opening in 7 years in 2032. Well, speaking of the Dartford crossing and protests and environmental protests, 2 friends of mine, you might remember a couple of years ago, Morgan and Marcus scaled the Securi-Tea bridge at the Dartford tunnel, and were up there for quite some time. I don't know if you remember that one. They were both given what at the time were record sentences for protest. That's now been surpassed with other sentences from the Whole Truth 5. But yeah, just I'll never look at the Dartford crossing the same way again, I guess. That's a map for those of you who are familiar with that part of Great Britain. And up Mr. South Grays in Essex is actually where I did my first JSO action back in August 2022, actually. That came up on another live stream recently as well, with the tunnellers. If you recall, we spoke about those who were in one of the teams there, digging a tunnel between the oil refinery and the printing office of the Daily Mail, or in the general direction of. Who knows? Yeah, but that's why it was in Grays in Essex, and managed to shut that down for a fair while. And just once again, to remind you to be very clear, yes, I was arrested on scene for that as well, so that's not any sort of confession, just to be clear. And the case was actually dropped for our team on that one, to be honest, which I was surprised at. Anyway, I dare say, and this isn't a revelation, again, not a confession, I dare say there could be a fair amount of protest in relation to this new project. So it was first proposed 16 years ago. But here's what campaigners have been saying. Obviously this would impact ancient woodland. Chris Todd, who's the director of Transport Action Network, said the decision was absolute madness, and added the only way that the government can afford this white elephant would be to take money from all other nations and regions in the UK rather than boosting growth. This will clog up roads in the southeast and slow the economy down even more. As that also implies it's not going to be great for logistical transport, that is delivery, wagons, vans, trailers and so on. A good point though, Dr. Davies. Yeah, we should be investing in tidal power. We've definitely got an abundance of that here in the UK with the North Sea. Thanks for those sentiments, Andy. I'm very proud to have been involved with that. There is going to be another JSO action phase coming in April. That's not a big secret. It's on the website and whatnot. So check it out if you want to find out more about that. If you want to come and show some support. So where was I? Won't bother watching the video there. The last word comes from the National Highways Projects Executive Director, who would obviously be in favour of it, saying that their plans have been shaped by the local community and refined by robust and rigorous examination of independent experts. No, what he meant to say was, you know, screw the economy, screw the natural habitats that exist there, the micro ecosystems and so on and so forth. Is Ed Miliband going to say anything about this? I somehow doubt it. I think the silence could be deafening. Good point, Jacqueline, about HS2 as well. Where big projects are concerned, as far as recent histories concerned as well, we've not done very well. We have not done very well. When you look at the sort of scale of these things, what could you say arguably was the last successful one? Perhaps the Channel Tunnel, maybe? What have we had since then, you know? But yeah, on that scale, things always certainly seem to go wrong. Private interests, obviously, will have a hand in this, or that situation, at least, set to make a packet. Yeah, speaking of making a packet, yeah, the Dartford Tunnel does already charge. It's the, what is it, the Blackwall Tunnel is going to start charging in April. But night, Jacqueline. Take care, Solidari-Tea. Thanks for joining me on the Brews at 10. Keep your thoughts coming in the chat about that one, people. Naturally, of course, I disapprove, massively disapprove that. Ridiculous projects, another waste of public money. 9 billion there. You could clog up a lot of the black hole with that one, couldn't you? I'm going to have to score myself. Oh. I'm winning 1-0. Oh no, that was another almost football reference. Right, people, I'll be bringing this stream to a close in the not too distant future. Hang around though. I'll be looking out for raids and redirects as always. I want to give another thanks to all of the members on the channel, which I always like to do before we part ways. Just have to remove the pop-out chat for a moment, if you'll forgive me. Yeah, thanks again. Thanks for getting that total up to 56 tonight. Awesome stuff. Thanks again for the gifted memberships. Thanks again for the super chats as well. And just a final reminder, you can join this list of people for just 99 pence, just a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage. Lots more perks to come on top of the ones that already exist. More static emojis, more live content, and more exclusive content. As I said, I'm endeavouring to bring at least one members only video per week in the future. Possibly more, schedule pending. Excuse me, thank you Doc Davies for the 5 gifted memberships. Solidari-Tea with the Doctor. So I'll have the pleasure of changing the total there. thanks again for that, Doc. Thanks for throwing up the Palestine flags there as well, Divinia, and the watermelons. Yes, of course, Solidari-Tea, as always. The BDS continues, of course. Well, speaking of which, just before I go on the hunt for a raid or redirect, I still keep seeing these McDonald's adverts everywhere, you know, the Stormzy ones. Yeah, it's getting my blood up. Don't really know where to begin. There's a couple of particular ones around town that have been there for quite a while, but that you know. Anyway, let's try and end on a positive, you know. Thanks a lot once again for the static emojis. Okay, yeah, Helena's live. I did have a selection. There was another US politics live streamer, but yeah, we're going to go into Helena at No Justice. I'll join you over there for a bit. Please do hang around, like I said, in just a moment. All that remains is for me to thank you for joining me on tonight's Brews at 10 for Tuesday tea. Yeah, you've been wonderful. Thanks for being polite and cordial in the chat. If you're not going to come over and join us at No Justice, which I strongly recommend you do, and hit the thumbs up button when you get there, then I'll catch you next time. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your evenings, hope you enjoy it. Take care, people. My Lefty, I'll be seeing you soon. Good night. Free Palestine and power to the people.